What up, what up, what up? How y'all doing? I'm doing great. I'm doing better than the Deontay Wilder and his fangirls. Let me tell you what. Some of the shit I've heard over the past year, specifically this past month, is out of control. What I'm talking about is Wilder vs. Fury 2. I'm talking about his fangirls. These fools even made up a name for themselves. They call themselves the Ldbc fangirls. And these dudes, man, they're the biggest Deontay Wilder fans, and they're ruining their superhero. They're killing their superhero, and they're hurting the sport with some of the shit they say. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, for a little bit of backstory for y'all, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought once, and the first fight ended in a draw. And it was a good fight, 80%, 90% of the people thought Fury should have won the decision, but Wilder knocked him down twice. So 10% of the people thought Wilder should have got the win. And those 10% of the boxing community, like I said, the Ldbc fangirls, simply said after the fight that, well, it was a good fight. I think Deontay Wilder should have got the decision. But he didn't, and then a draw. So after the first fight, we didn't hear no excuses from these fangirls. In particularly, Beauty Shop Confessions is one of the channels. Uh, Blue Ball Sports TV is another one. Got this dude out there named Spew Titan. I call him Spew Titan because all he does is spew bullshit. I don't think he has any of his own original thoughts. He just spews bullshit nonstop. And then you got the ringleader, 68 Sports TV. I call him the ringleader because these dudes is a bunch of clowns out here. I mean, they really just have taken being a fan to the next level. Delusional, almost. But, so they fight again. And Tyson Fury embarrassed him, hurt his feelings, made him look like a amateur fighter. He just out and out slapped him around the ring. Deontay Wilder threw maybe 2 meaningful punches the whole fight. And then eventually, Wilder's corner threw in the towel. Now, once that happened, these Ldbc fangirls couldn't wrap their head around it. They didn't know what happened. What happened to my superhero? So, here comes all the excuses. It's going to be 10 days until February 22nd, 2021. 10 days, and it's going to be a year from the second fight. And these fangirls and channels just will not stop with the excuses. And they're like, oh, everybody hates Deontay Wilder. Why are they hating on Deontay Wilder? Deontay Wilder had mad fans. A boatload of fans. But you guys kept making videos about the gloves, the suit, the water being spiked. It's a big conspiracy. Everybody's in on it. The WBC, the Nevada Athletic Commission, everybody's in on it because they didn't want to see Deontay Wilder win. Right? But after the second fight, nobody heard from Wilder. It's great. We're going to have the third fight. We haven't heard from Wilder. We figured he's training. All this stuff. Right? Well, after that second fight, here comes the excuses. The very first excuse that we heard was on fight night. by Deontay Wilder's trainer, Jay Diaz. In front of the locker room, he did an interview with one of these YouTube channels, and he said, I don't really know what's going on. I got to watch back the fight. And but I do know is that his walkout suit was heavy. And I think it might have had something to do with why his legs didn't look right from the beginning. That's the suit right there, folks. Right there with the red glowing eyes. Right? That's the suit. 40-pound suit. But the funny thing about that 40-pound suit is that every time Wilder's getting ready for a fight, they do a show called All Access. And every time you see Wilder working out, he's got that 40-pound vest on, the weighted vest. Any workout buffs out there, you know what it looks like. Right? But not only that, he went on Rogan, Joe Rogan, and they spent probably about 7 or 8 minutes talking about Wilder's workout routine. And Wilder himself brought up the fact that he wears the vest. 40 pounds. So if you're an elite athlete making millions of dollars, you mean to tell me that you can't walk 100 feet to the ring with a 40-pound vest on? Give me a break. And all these Ldbc fangirls are like, Wilder never said that. Wilder never said that. It's all the media, you know, spreading bullshit lies. Well, just a couple days ago, the one interview Wilder did with Yahoo Sports, I believe, with Kevin Iole, he was sick of getting all the messages saying that he was a liar. Wilder never said that. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what Kevin Iole did? He said, screw it then. Here's the audio for all you fangirls. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Alright, so there's the suit. Next comes the gloves. Glovegate. Glovegate. Floppy gloves. He didn't have his hand all the way in the gloves. He didn't. His hand was down here in the wrist. Alright, well, then someone pointed out to these fangirls, hey, the floppy gloves that you're showing are from the first fight. Why didn't you guys say anything after the first fight about these floppy gloves? Well, no, it just goes to show you Tyson Fury's always been a cheater. Okay. So let me explain something to you about the gloves in the second fight. Oh yeah, here's another thing they said. They keep showing this one picture of the second fight, where the gloves look a little weird, right? So I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's an awful zoomed in picture. You know, he's grabbing Deontay's arm, you know. Could just been that fluke camera shot, right? So I go to Google and I search images from Wilder Fury 2. I don't see that picture anywhere. I see 1,000 pictures of the gloves looking normal, but they want to point to this one picture. This one picture. Okay, well, I'm pointing to the 1,000 other pictures where they look fine. They look normal. So a little backstory on gloves and big-time boxing. In a big fight in Nevada, you go to the weigh-in the night before the fight. And after the weigh-in, you have to go select the gloves you want to wear. Now, when you go to select the gloves you want to wear, both teams are present, and the fighters. And the commission displays the gloves to the fighters. Here you go. Here are the gloves. Which ones do you like? There's a couple pairs to choose from. And then the fighter will go, yep, I like these gloves. These are my number 1 gloves. And then the commission will say, well, choose a backup pair just in case anything happens to those gloves. You know? So they choose a second pair. Both teams there. If you're an experienced team, usually you want to see the opponent's gloves. Look at them, touch them, feel them. I don't know if that happened or not, but that's the protocol. And after the fighters and the commission sign off on those gloves, The commission takes them back, locks them up somewhere in a safe somewhere. Who knows? Probably at the arena. I don't know where they go. But they get locked up. The fighters don't keep them overnight. And those fighters will not see the gloves until after their hands are wrapped the night of the fight. I don't know how long it is between when they glove up and then they walk to the ring. I'm sure every fight is different. But the night of the fight, you sit down and get your hands wrapped. Well, when you get your hands wrapped, there's a member from the opposition's team that comes and watches you get your hands wrapped. Right? The commissioner's there. Everybody's watching to make sure nothing funny happens. So once those hands are wrapped, they get signed by the commission. And then they usually stretch in and get warmed up while those hand wraps are on. And then it's time to put the gloves on. So the commission comes with the gloves. Here, Fury, put your gloves on. Right? So Fury puts his gloves on. He gets them where he wants them. Playing with them. Yep. They're tight. Tape me up. Tape me up, coach. They tape them up. And then the commission signs them. Usually puts a big X or whatever commission does. It's up to the commission what they want to put on that tape. They do that so you cannot remove the tape and tamper with your gloves. They've learned from the 60s and 70s. So yeah, now he's gloved up and he walks to the ring. Comes out. In this case, Fury gets escorted out on a throne and he gets in the ring. Right? That's over. It's ready to fight. No, it's not over yet. Once you get in the ring, you do a little warm-up, you circle the ring, you take your costume off. What happens? What happens? You've seen it 1,000 times if you're a boxing fan. The referee will come over, give you a little tap on the nuts, make sure you got your cup on, right? Grab your gloves, turn them over, look at them, squeeze them, and go, look to your corner. I want to see the mouthpiece. Who's got the mouthpiece? We got the mouthpiece right here. All right, now it's time to fight. So, when did he tamper with the gloves? Huh? When did he do it? Not only that, after Fury beats his ass for 7 rounds in a huge arena with what? 20,000 there? And probably about 50 cameras. Fury gets his tape and his gloves removed in the ring. In the ring. In front of all those people and all those cameras. This is another thing they said. They said that Fury had an egg weight in his gloves because he dented the side of Wilder's head. So if he had an egg weight in his gloves, where'd the egg weight go? They just took it out of the gloves. It didn't fall out. They took it out and hid it. While there's 50 cameras watching every single thing that happens in that ring. So that's the second thing. So the suit, the gloves, that's all bullshit. Now here comes the best part. Then they say, well, Mark Breland threw in the towel because he's friends with Tyson's Fury's trainer. Have you ever heard such bullshit? Mark Breland threw in the towel because Deontay Wilder was bleeding from the ear, bleeding from the mouth. According to Wilder, he had a dent on the side of his head. We're still waiting to see the x-rays on that. No. Breland threw in the towel because he knew you guys had a contract for the third fight already in place. And you lived to fight another day. That's why he threw in the towel. You were getting your ass beat. He knew you had a get back coming. You had rights to a third fight. And that you weren't doing anything. You weren't punching back. You weren't doing anything. And then, here we go. Same thing with Mark Breland. Yeah, well, Mark Breland spiked his water. His own fighter's water. Mark Breland spiked his water. Well, this is another laughable excuse because everybody knows in big-time boxing, you're in a drug testing program. You get drug tested up until the fight and after the fight. It's a very simple fact, Deontay, but I know you can't do it. Show the paperwork of a failed drug test. I know you can't do that because if that was the case, this would have broken open a year ago after the fight. So I don't want to hear nothing about Mark Breland spiking the water because it's debunked until you show proof of a failed urine test. It's plain and simple. And but all this time we didn't hear nothing from Wilder. We figured Wilder's training, getting ready for the third fight. We were just hearing all this stuff from the fangirls. The only thing we heard about from Wilder himself was that Yahoo interview where he brought up the suit was heavy. That's the only thing. Wilder didn't say anything about gloves. He didn't say anything about his trainer cheating him. He didn't say anything about loaded gloves. He didn't say nothing. So 8 months go by. Fury and Wilder are trying to get the third fight settled. Well, the fight didn't get settled because Wilder's management team let the contract expire. So, what did Tyson Fury say? All right, I'm moving on to AJ. The biggest fight in boxing that can be made. Fury versus AJ. But I'm going to need a little tune-up fight before that because I've been out of the ring a year. So I'm going to fight on December 5th. Ajit Kabaya. Right? That's what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, I believe it was Halloween night. I think it was the night that Inoue fought on ESPN. Halloween night. Wilder puts out an Instagram post. And I couldn't believe what I heard. He actually was agreeing with all of his Ldbc fangirls. And that was it. Wilder, you lost respect from a lot of fans, man. I was a huge fan. I bought a couple of your fights. I've been following you. And these Ldbc fangirls want to say, yeah, they're just Wilder haters. They're just Wilder haters. Well, before Wilder came out with that Instagram post agreeing with all you fools, I was still a fan. We just were hating on you, the fangirl club. We weren't hating on Wilder. We were hating on you. But then he jumped off the bridge and agreed with you guys. So, my theory is Wilder wasn't thinking of any of this nonsense because if he was, he would have mentioned it when he had the interview for Yahoo right after the fight. But he didn't mention any of that until he started listening to the bullshit you guys are spewing. And he said, you know what? Let me jump on this. Let me jump on this and say, yeah, this is why the third fight's not happening, because Fury's scared to have the fight on an even playing field. Even playing field? Fury was the one who got robbed the first fight. And the second fight, you know what? He said, I'm still going to come to America, and you can have 3 American judges. All the judges can be American, because I don't care. I'm going to knock you out. And that's exactly what he did. And these fangirls can't accept it. They can't accept it. So, that's it in a nutshell. There's a bunch of other stuff. Like the mediation that's supposedly going on. These Ldbc fangirls saying, yep, Wilder's going to get paid $34 million. Step-aside money. There is no step-aside money. The contract expired. It's over with. It's done with. Move on. Fury said after all the bullshit that he said, he's never going to fight him again. And Fury's the type of guy that'll drop the belt. He don't care. He don't give a shit. So what's going to happen in June, Fury and AJ are going to fight. Then they're going to have a rematch. And that's it. Wilder, you're left out in the cold. You gotta fight someone. Prove yourself again. Stop listening to your fangirls. They're getting you in a lot of trouble. You and them are turning a lot of people off. So stop with the bullshit. And the Ldbc, stop trying to ruin boxing because your superhero got beat. Stop doing it. It's not going to work out good. You guys just look like idiots. So don't ruin the sport of boxing. Moore's house. Holla at your boy. Peace. I'll see y'all soon. Holla at your boy.